Alright guys, today we're going to talk about relationships. And Allie asked if I was going to bring the energy. You know
You scared
I'm going
me.
to bring the energy.
Was not expecting that.
So why did I think she was too old for me? That's how we're going to start.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Alright.
Why did I think you were too young for me?
Because I am? No.
Aw, you're a little baby.
Alright, car stopped in front. Alright. For real though, for real. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about relationships, using our own learning and thought processes to help explain to you what we've learned. I am just all over my words today. Oh, you're offering. That's so sweet. I'm okay. We are on the way to Metroflex. Almost got elbowed in the face again. Wouldn't be the first time.
You do it to me all the time. I think you don't realize the space that your body needs.
No, I still think I'm that 16-year-old kid that's 130 pounds. All right, well, with that, I was going to try and do this without shades, but it's kind of bright today. Anyways, tattoo is peeling like a mofo. It's just peeling all over the place.
Driving you crazy.
Literally. And your face is peeling too. So we're just always in sync.
Yep.
We're just like this. That was a joke. All right. Jokes are out of the system. I can focus and be intentional here. So I think before we ever met, really, I think just based on our profiles, we met on Facebook dating, y'all. It's a wonderful place to meet interesting people. I'm interesting. You're interesting, but we definitely met some interesting people along the way. I think there is something to be said for staying open-minded and also still yet being selective, because I know myself, I have this toxic habit of meeting somebody, instantly justifying anything that's, I don't want to say wrong with them, but like, I see their struggle. I'm empathetic. I want to help. I remember even like seeing this girl that was like working at Starbucks, and I was like, oh, well, I could help them. I could help them learn how to run a business. And like, that was my thought process. And I don't think that's a very healthy thought process. Depending upon who you are, it's perfectly fine if your partner works at Starbucks. But it shouldn't be to you like, oh, I can help them. That's my value in the relationship, is just helping them on their business journey or on their career, at least in my eyes. So, when we met Allie, she had her shit together. And that was one of the big reasons that I was like, okay, maybe this can go somewhere. You know what? I am going to sidebar here. You're an incredible partner. I genuinely appreciate you. You do so much for me that they don't even see off-scene. Like, the reason the house is clean right now, not because I don't like clean things, but just because I get so behind on work and so flustered and so behind on many, many projects, I just don't do it. So it's nice, it's clean, it's organized. It's the most organized it's ever been.
I'm glad I can help make your life a little bit smoother.
Yeah. Would not be doing quite as much without some help. So thank you for the help. But back to the whole relationship thing. What did I immediately judge you for? I'll just be honest. Your age. Allie's 39. I'm 31. I thought, well, she's probably too old for me, but she seems nice and she's attractive, so we'll roll the dice here. But I think what really drew me in was your communication. She's one of those types of people that if you send 3 paragraphs and they're about 3 different topics, you'll get a reply back with 3 paragraphs about those corresponding 3 topics. Instead of some people, you send them 3 paragraphs. Yes, I know I might text her a lot, but you'll get a reply to one of them, and then that's it. And you're like, well, I had other questions or other things I wanted to be discussed. So I don't know. That sounds really kind of silly. Why don't you tell them why you didn't think you wanted to date me? That's great. You can just talk about me now.
So, A, you're a bodybuilder. B, you're an influencer. And C, you're way too young for me. And when I started my dating journey, I'm sure everybody knows by now, I was married with somebody for 20 years. separated, divorced, whatever, for 2 years now, almost 2 years. So when I started the dating journey, I made it a point that I wasn't going to date younger than me. If anything, 1 or 2 years. And I guess it's because my partner was older than me, and I was always attracted to older men since I would say I'm kind of wise and mature, so usually it requires an older man to be at that level with me. And so I completely judged you off your profile and didn't really think there would be any dating option with you. I just thought, oh, hey, he's vegan, and I'm looking to become vegan and learn about, what I can eat, and wanted to take that journey. And so I was like, hey, not for dating, but we can be friends, and you can teach me some of the things. I mean, you're an online coach, you're vegan for 18 years. I'm like, I can pick his brain, I can learn from him, and that's kind of how it started. You told me follow me on Instagram like you tell everybody. Now that I'm on the other side of it, I see how it goes. And we started talking, and then through the communication, like you said, that's when I started to realize that I had completely judged you. They say don't judge a book by their cover, but I did. And as I started to read the book, I started to realize it was a different story.
Aw. Well, I try to put out a pretty accurate cover of what I am. I look silly, I dress silly. But I do think what you were seeking, like a mature partner, that could be hidden behind all of my eccentric natures.
Yeah.
And the whole influencer, social media, bodybuilder. From the outside, and from where you were sitting, I'm sure you thought I was pretty self-absorbed.
Yeah, I did.
In a way, I am, but not so much for like just to further my own self-interest, but like I realize companies work with me because I look a certain way. People will listen to me about my vegan activism because I look a certain way. So like I care about it from that side. Like I want people to tune in, but not because I want to be famous. Like my goal isn't to be like a movie star. Like I'm not trying to be like Chris Hemsworth or anything like that. Like I just want to make a difference, and I know that if I can reach more people, I can make a bigger difference. So.
And I do think that once I got to know you, I realized that I had a judgment about the whole bodybuilding, self-absorbed. I thought you were going to be highly egotistical, and plus you're younger. So it was just, I had all these judgments, and then I realized, well, you got into this whole sport is for a completely different reason. It's your form of activism and your way of standing out and getting your message across. And then I realized the whole empathetic side and good communication and all the other things. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's more than meets the eye here. And I do always like a more playful, eccentric, childlike personality, but I also like it to be balanced with a very mature man. Like, too mature can be boring and kind of like rigid. So I feel like you're balanced in that way. You have your business mindset and you take your goals seriously, but you also have that side of you that likes to be authentic and playful and silly, and you balance it out.
Aw. I do want to clarify. I did not start bodybuilding 16 years ago for activism. It is now. That's honestly the reason I'm going to the gym right now. Is this is my activism. This is me putting on a vegan shirt, not taking off my vegan tattoo, and posting and engaging and continuing to push my body. I told you yesterday, like right before our leg day, probably gonna have to go to some dark places today. I'm gonna put myself under a bit of pressure if I don't get a PR on the pendulum squat, which I did, by the way. But if I don't get this PR, a few animals might die that I could otherwise save if I could influence more people. So like, I try to put a lot of pressure on myself now. But when it started, I just genuinely enjoyed it. And it is interesting because like you saw me as that influencer, that bodybuilder, But like when it started, it was just me in a gym. It was actually me in like a shed, like a shed that my dad and I had built. I never thought it would be anything serious. I just thought I would get a little stronger. It's interesting how like a very small decision, like, oh, I'm going to work out in this shed at 15, has put me on this this path that I'm on now. That if I had never found that, maybe I wouldn't be here. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like clarifying that. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, I do think we've also talked about that, where we realized that we both had to go on our journey and go through certain things, and we've both changed a lot because of life experiences and things that have happened in our lives, and we probably wouldn't have been a match before.
No.
Where we are now in our lives, we do match, but it took us some growth to get here, some changing.
If I met you 3 years ago, you would still be married. If I met you, I don't know, 10 years ago, I'd be 21 and you'd be 29. Then it would probably be too big of an age gap. So yeah, we kind of lucked out, I think. And you know, like, let's be real here. You were with somebody for a very long time. I imagine that it was healthy for you to, oh boy, squeezing.
Focus.
I imagine it was healthy for you to get a chance to date some other people prior to just like hopping into a relationship with me. So had I met you right when you came out of that, we might have been almost aligned, but you would have missed that experience of really knowing what you're looking for. I think I've said this before, I don't know if I've said it on here, I view dating a whole lot like buying or building a house. Like, I know for a goddamn fact I do not want to live in a 2-story house, because I lived in a 2-story apartment and I really disliked having to climb up the steps each night, to the point where I ended up sleeping on the couch a lot downstairs. Call me lazy, whatever, that's what I did. And just the same as going through an abusive relationship, I learned I am not going to allow myself to be yelled at by anyone ever again. Maybe I didn't need to go through that to learn that, but actually, nope, you know what, I did. Because I never had thought about that prior to. So...
And sometimes you don't even realize that it's happening until you go through the experience.
So I'm glad we both had our chance to kind of live in a lot of different apartments before settling on a house. Not locking you into this or anything. This isn't a 30-year fixed marriage mortgage, but we'll
I
see where we
definitely
go.
think I needed that time to date around, because obviously I was with somebody for so long, and it wasn't just finding out who other people were and what I wanted. It was also, I learned a lot about myself through the process of dating other people, how I am in relationships, how I respond to things, and yeah, like I did make that choice that when I was dating, I was going to be more open-minded, because I used to be very specific about the type. This was something I really wanted to talk about here. I was specific about my type, and so it just immediately, if somebody didn't fit that box, I wouldn't even consider them. Whereas when I started dating this time, I'm surprised you didn't notice that Corvette.
I was looking for the exit, but yes, thank you for pointing it out. I do like Corvettes. You know me.
So yeah, I definitely think that it was important for me to approach dating in that way, where I wasn't closed off anymore to a certain type, a certain, specific guidelines of a man that I was looking for, which is why, I was open to communicating with you and getting to know you. I think that made a huge difference for me. Getting to know people at their core. I think the most important thing when you're looking for a partner, it's not the superficial characteristics, because those things can change. It's who they are at their core, their foundation, their ethics, their morals. That's what I was open to this time, is looking beyond the facade and getting to know them deeper. And I think that's where I realized you and I had so much in common. On the outside, it didn't look like it, but on the inside is when I realized we had a lot of similarities. And we were actually very in alignment with each other.
Can't spell alignment without Allie. I do want to bring up something that you said earlier. Oh, there's your Corvette. You had mentioned that you just thought that we wouldn't date. You would just use me for my vegan knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, she's not denying it.
It's the truth.
I kind of thought you meant you would date me for a little bit and then move on when you found something else.
No.
Which I almost think I would want that more than just being immediately friend-zoned.
No, I immediately friend-zoned you, my love. I'm sorry. That's the truth.
Funny how that worked out, huh?
I was like, friend zone and let me learn from him. And that's how it started.
And then I used the power of my tongue, and it just opened your mindset to... I meant through texting, guys, get your minds out of the gutter. Allie, you as well. I do think it was our communication. Like, we were writing books. But that was the other thing, too. Like, I had come from relationships where if I woke up and I, didn't send a text, and I didn't text them until... I guess it's a little bit different when you're in a relationship. Like, you usually text somebody, like, good morning if you're not there. But, like, even on days where I was super busy, and I think I'd either text you or I'd be like, oh, I'm really busy, but I'll get back to you later. We'd maybe go 12 hours without texting, but then write, like, a whole book whenever we had time to give, like, a quality conversation.
Yeah.
And I noticed that she wasn't like, oh, my God, you didn't text me. It's been 4 hours and 13 minutes. That's too long. I don't know why that's the number that I picked. But, yeah, like, I just felt very... like we had a good communication, but it wasn't like toxic. It wasn't super
attached,
needy. Yeah, all those things. So I don't know. Even just when we were, I guess I was friend zoned without knowing it. It still felt really nice. So
yeah. Well, I did realize that we wouldn't have to talk all day, but when we did talk, it was deep. And we really connected. It wasn't like superficial talking, like, hey, how's your day? How's the weather? Like, that type of stuff bores me. And that was another problem I had in dating is I'm a very deep person. And if somebody can't meet me there, I lose interest immediately. So, yeah, you kind of met me there every time.
I mean, I think like one of the third things I asked you was, how do you want to change the world before you die? I don't think many people are on dating apps, but that's like the second or third question. Like, they're like, do you like dogs? How about pizza? Like, Netflix and chill? Like, if that's all you got, I don't really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
That really helped me narrow down the dating pool because a lot of people were not prepared for that question and had literally no answer. And that's okay. Maybe you just don't know yet. I didn't know what I wanted to do 10 years ago. Like, but that helped me narrow down to find a partner that's in alignment with me. And you had a good answer, and I remember it.
You do?
Yeah, I do. See. So, like, for me, how I want to change the world, John Thomas, bodybuilding vegan, like, I want to change the minds of many. I want to get rid of factory farming. To do that, I'm going to have to be an influencer. I'm going to have to be able to speak to millions of people in probably multiple languages. And I don't even know if I can do it before I die, but, like, that is my driving force and my goal. It's big. It needs a lot of support. I can't do this alone. I need a team behind, an army behind me. And when I asked Allie, hers was much smaller in scope, but just as deep and I think just as important. She told me that I'm rephrasing this in my own words. I don't remember your exact language, but this is the gist. I want to change the world in a small way every single day. I want to hold the door for somebody. I want to make them smile. I want to be a kind friend and listen to them, to share some yoga, some kindness, some softness, some positivity, and just if I can make one person's day each day, then I've done my job. Something like that was roughly what you said. And I thought, okay, maybe she's not trying to do something like crazy global like me, but she's trying to change somebody else's life in a positive way every day. And you never know the ripple effect. The ripple effect will be global. So, I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that is roughly what you said.
Roughly. I don't remember exactly what I said either, but I know that how I want to change the world is I want to help people heal and raise their consciousness, because I feel like when people heal their wounds and their triggers, and they raise their consciousness so they can make better decisions, we all make better decisions. We're all kinder to each other. We all heal those wounds and that anger, that resentment, whatever we were still holding on to in our lives, and we raise our vibration. We're more loving, kind, empathetic beings. That's how we make the world a better place. And so if I can share that every day with anybody that I come across, whether it's at the gym, at the grocery store, wherever, I can share that light and that love, I want to do that. And that's one of the reasons why I like to teach yoga, because every time I go into a yoga class, everybody walks out of there. They walk in stressed and feeling heavy, and they walk out feeling peace and feeling lighter. And so helping them get to that place, that's gonna ripple out into the world. So, yeah.
That was right. I do remember you saying that you wanted to heal people.
Yes. Help people heal themselves so they can stop carrying around all those wounds and that anger that makes people just not kind to each other or kind to animals. As we heal our hearts and we raise our consciousness and become more aware, get out of the sleep mode and survival mode, we make better choices and we treat others with kindness, and then it's a ripple effect that just continues going. And like you said, you just don't know exactly how far it's going to go. It can be global, and you can just start with one person.
And to be fair, I'll be one person. You've healed me. You've healed me on things I didn't even know I needed to be healed from. You are like me, and you can. It's hard to do this to yourself. It's hard to see yourself very clearly, but like I can see other people pretty well. I can see their intentions. I can see their heart. I can see their capacity for empathy and change. Now, granted, I haven't always been right, or I will put on blinders, and that I want to get back to that. Like I would put on blinders for other people I was in relationships with and give them passes. Same with friends. I would give friends passes that I would never give someone else.
Did you see the potential?
Because I see the potential. But I remember hearing this: don't date someone or don't employ someone, don't be with someone, whether a relationship or not, based on promise. Be with them based on what is present. If somebody says, I'm going to be this way in 6 months, anybody can say anything. Look at their words, sure. But if you see that they're working towards that, if they're in therapy, if they're in rehab, if you're friends with a drug addict and they're like, oh, I'm going to be off this in 6 months, but they're just saying it, they're not doing anything, it's really hard to trust that promise. But I can trust whatever I presently see. Anyways, where was I going with this?
How I've helped you heal and how you see people for who they are.
You are amazing. You know me better than I know myself. Actually, that might almost be true. Allie sees me, and I sometimes can't see myself. As a bodybuilder, I think I'm small. As an activist, as an influencer, I think I'm small. Getting bigger in both. But I still don't always see myself, but she does. So then, if she can see me accurately, I can work on things better. I have a better assessment of where I'm at and where I need to go, and what I need to heal from. So, I think a part of me, I'm just being fully transparent here, I think a part of me was still hung up on the with one of my prior relationships with Laura. There just wasn't a whole lot of closure there. It was very abrupt. And I think it was something I was still like almost on a subconscious level trying to heal from.
It was very evident to me after the first few conversations that we got deep. So yeah, we definitely dove into that a little bit more.
And Allie offered a safe place for me to bring this up. Like, I've probably talked about my exes 1,000 times in front of you. And I know that that's hard for some people. And if that was really hard for my partner, it's probably not the best person for me to be with until I fully move past this. I don't know. I have this after using some fun guy therapy. I'll let you do the research there. It's a topping you might put on a pizza. I just got to be very careful what I say on YouTube. Altering my consciousness a little bit. Like, I don't view somebody as like an ex that you need to cut them off and never talk to them again. And it's actually really cool that Allie and I have already mentioned this, that we may not be together forever. I mean, there's a very good chance that we won't. I don't really want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable, but maybe you should talk about things that are uncomfortable. But there is a chance that for whatever reason she needs to move on or I need to move on as far as romantic relationship goes. But we've put a lot of time and effort into each other in these short, almost 4 months. I don't think that just needs to be thrown away the second that we move on in our lives if we choose to. I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm all over the place. I came into this unscripted. I'm still unscripted. Anyways, I like that. I like that we are on the same page there. Like, I don't know. I think you have to have a big degree of trust in your partner to do that. Like, if you were to somehow be in this position where in a few years it was comfortable to talk to your ex, I don't think that would really bother me, as long as they're being nice to you. If they were being abusive or something, that would be a problem. But, like, if you want to leave me for your ex, good luck finding somebody better. Is my car making music?
No.
Oh.
It's the one next to you.
I just have such good ears, guys. Right? I never miss anything that you say.
You never go, what?
What? She hates that. All right. I feel like I've rambled. We've rambled a bit. I've rambled a bit more than you have. I didn't think that you were right for me when I met you because I didn't think anybody was right for me. I thought I had put it out there into the world that there was one woman, at least one woman, somewhere in the universe that would help me on my journey of trying to heal the world. And then we matched very soon after that. And I think I was in denial for a long time. I was in denial that it would be this easy to find that person I had like been somewhat like manifesting, envisioning. And granted, you were way better than anyone I could have imagined. And guys and girls, like, I really want you to take this home. Like, your future and your future partners should be so phenomenal that you right now could not write down what the best future and the best partner could be a year or 2 years from now. It should surprise you at how much better it can be.
I want to say that when I was working on manifesting my partner, because I did write what I was looking for, I wrote more of like personality traits, like characteristics, like foundational things. It wasn't so much of the external. It was more like somebody who's authentic, empathetic, goal-oriented. Like, those were the things that I was writing down. So not to limit how that person comes to you. For example, I didn't expect that somebody like John, who actually fits all the criteria I put down, I didn't expect it to come in this package. So that's why I say think outside the box and just focus on the core. What is the core of the person what does the core of that person look like to you, and focus on that, and then let the universe bring that perfect partner for you, and it could definitely be better than you expected.
I agree. I didn't think that partner would appear so quickly, so I was not really looking for it. I wasn't really even like looking to make it happen. In the past, I just latched on immediately to whatever was in front of me and held on for dear life and tried to put in all the work, and it just didn't pan out because I don't think I was with somebody who was at the same place on their journey as me, moving at the same speed in the same direction. And I think that's also really important, is your partner's capacity for change. Because you might meet somebody that's perfect for you right now, but where are they going to be in 5 years? Mm-hmm. Where are you going to be in 5 years?
One of the main reasons why my marriage didn't work is because I changed a lot and he didn't. And so you either grow together or you grow apart. And so, yeah, I think a big thing in a partnership is you have to choose each other every day. You have to fall in love with each other through every different phase of your life, because you're going to continue growing and evolving, and you're going to have to fall in love with that person again and again. Unless you don't love who they become, then you know that your paths are kind of moving away from each other, and that's okay as well.
Yep, back to friend zoning. I became your friend in my head before I fell in love with you.
I think
Which
but you said that you felt like we were friends before becoming lovers anyways, so you kind of felt that vibe.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it was weird. Normally I just kind of fall in love like, nah, like no effort. I don't know if it's forced or like through out of like fear of being alone. I don't know, but in this case it just kind of slowly happened and was, in my eyes, a lot better.
I think we both also came in with, like you said, we weren't trying to latch on and hold on for dear life. We both came in very skeptical, very like, I know what I want, I know what I'm looking for, and I'm not settling, and I'm not rushing into it, and I'm not gonna make the same mistakes I've made in the past. Where in the past I would move quickly in a relationship, and so would you. And so at the beginning we were very much like trying to continue doing our own things and just meet here and just connect and see how it would go. And we were always like, if we continue to connect and grow like something together, that's great. But if we don't, that's okay too. Like, we weren't trying to force it in any way. It wasn't like an infatuation, an obsession. It was just two people getting to know each other and becoming friends first, and then falling in love gradually. And I think like I never thought that was healthy. I thought that was, if you're just feeling like a friend at first and it feels so safe and so peaceful and so calm, something's wrong. Because, you know, I still had some toxic in me, and if you didn't have that obsessive infatuation, I want to be with you 24/7, I can't let you go, then that's not the one, of course, because that's how you should feel when you fall in love, and it's not true. It's actually just unhealthy behaviors that we latch onto. But I feel like we were in a healthier place, which is why things kind of formed organically in a slower pace.
I agree. I think I was almost afraid of losing our friendship more than of not having a good relationship. But I think we've done an excellent job navigating that. And we have arrived at the gym. We're going to go train.
I'm ready.
I'm proud of us because neither of us we wanted to have this talk. It was just neither of us were fully in the like mood to do this today. Sometimes you just got to start, see where it goes. Almost like the gym. Sometimes you show up and you don't feel like lifting, and then you get through a few sets and you feel better.
That's how I feel about yoga. Sometimes I don't want to go teach yoga.
You said yoga. I thought you were going to say, that's how I feel about you.
Oh, did you have a little mini heart attack?
A little mini one. Sorry. All right, you feel that way about yoga?
Sometimes I don't want to go teach yoga because I'm tired and I'm not feeling my, yoga teacher self, like where I can go inspire and light up a room. And the minute I walk in and I see the people and I start to teach, it's like something takes over and I walk out of there a whole new person. So just get started. Show up. They say showing up is the hardest part. Just show up and get started, and the rest will pan out. All right.
Good talk. If y'all want more, let us know what you want to hear about next. Sex? Who knows? We already did that, but we could do it again. That's what she said. All right, we are out.
Do it again and again.
Again and again. You already know who to send this to. Send it to your mom, to your brother, to your cousin, to your niece's, nephew's, ex's, best friend's dog. And who we gotta remember, of course.
Alex's goats. Never forget Alex's goats.
Never forget. Love y'all.